tonight. What's the
Very recently, I was talking with a few artists when some of them actually, this is actually a sentiment that I've encountered quite a bit, is the idea that, well, I'm not good enough to start on comics. I'm not good enough to work on my paneling. I'm not good enough to work on my storytelling. But I really want to work in comics. You know, I really want to do, even if it's just a webcomic online, even if it's just, artwork for now, etc. But somehow I don't feel like I'm good enough to really, stand out and be different. Now, in my own personal experience, I was one of those kinds of guys that, never thought that I was good enough to do anything, and, well, eventually I decided at one point that I was going to bite the bullet and see what happens. Roughly 7 years later, started around 2005, roughly 7 years later, I'm still doing what I'm doing, and I'm still working very hard to produce quality, to at least improve on my quality, and to just do the work that I'm really passionate about. I guess what I'm trying to say is that no matter how good you think you are, you're going to suck. End of story. If you're going to start out with webcomics, understand that when you first start out, you're going to suck. If you're going to start out in comics, you're going to suck. No matter how good you are, no matter how much some of your friends are like, your stuff is really great, you're going to suck, and then you're going to improve. Why? Because there's always going to be somebody better than you. There's always somebody who's going to have mastered skills that you have, and, either they're really doing it in the webcomic, but the thing is, as skilled as somebody else is, you are going to attract a fan base. People are going to like your stuff. I'm still very surprised when I discover I have subscribers to my webcomic. I'm still very surprised when people, come to check out my work, and they actually pay money for it. But the fact of the matter is that you improve as you go along. And if you're always waiting for the moment where you're good enough, or where you're the quality of, let's say, Jim Lee, or, Milo Manara, or any other artist that is out there, you're never, ever going to get started. Let's be honest. If you're trying to be the next John Romita Jr., that's not going to happen if you do not get out there and start drawing comics. Because as good as technically sound as some of these artists are, they didn't get good until they actually started doing the work. That's what I'm trying to say. And, yes, people are going to hate your work. Get used to that idea. People are going to say you suck. Get used to that idea. Just every once in a while, you go up to the mirror just before you start drawing, and you say, "Hi, my name is Dumac the artist, and I suck." Then you get back to the table, and you just start drawing. You start focusing on your craft. You start doing whatever it is that you need to do in order to get better. You study anatomy. You study storytelling. You study form. You watch art videos. You get in touch with local artists and you start working as an apprentice. But the most important thing that you need to do is get started drawing. It doesn't matter. Even if you're going to do a webcomic, get all the kinks out of your storytelling, get all the kinks out of your artwork. I mean, right now I'm learning how to draw backgrounds. Adding backgrounds. I mean, to most artists, that's like a basic skill. But my backgrounds suck. Okay? And you know what? It's, as much as I joke around with my work saying that it's all horrible and everything, I'm actually very proud of what I do. I'm actually getting better. People have, started to take notice now. And it's not, it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work, and it's a real pain in the ass. But the longer you try to stall, the harder it is going to be because, well, let's face it, this is a young man's game. Granted, there's a lot of us who are middle-aged to old that are trying to, do well. I'm still pretty much a young man. Let me just knock that out of the park. But, you have to get off your ass and you have to start doing the work. That's the only way you get better. That's the only way that you master your craft is you start working on stories. You start working on comics. Start a webcomic. And just get all the kinks out of your artwork now. And build a fan base while you're doing it. Because let me tell you something. With webcomics, folks will talk to you eventually. And they will make a comment. I mean, I've actually gotten some really good advice. Somebody actually sent me an email a couple years back talking about my storytelling and my anatomy. And a lot of the things that they taught me really helped me. And they were actually very constructive. And they actually took the time to, correct some of the mistakes on a page that I did. But the most important thing is that with the webcomic community, yes, there's competition, but there's also a sense of camaraderie because we're all trying to tell stories. We're all trying to make a difference. We're all trying to make an impact. And as long as you're waiting for your skills to get better before you get started, you're never going to get better. You're never going to adapt until you're actually in a situation where you're doing the work. Anyway, that's my Artist Alley rant for today. This is Dumak the Artist signing off. Sanchini Falcha. Have a nice day.